Welcome seekers, you have made it to the Tarot Magicians channel. My name is Ricky and today I bring you another pick a card tarot reading. This is for May 2022, predictions, guidance, advice. May is a very special month for me. The zodiac signs for the month of May are Taurus and Gemini. To me this means that this is the month of vitality and the fluidity of that vitality. So we're going to go ahead and get started with tarot, and we're going to also throw some oracle cards. Towards the end of the reading, I am going to throw cards from the Lover's Oracle deck to give you some love messages, right, for singles, couples. So stay tuned for that. Now, let's go ahead and get started. As you seekers know, you have three groups to pick, from, three cards to pick from. And each group, each card has a distinct message for the month. All right, so go ahead and take a moment to make your selections, whichever card calls to you first. This is group number 1, the Dancer. This is group number 2, the Traveler. And this is group number 3, the Shaman. So go ahead, take your time, make your selections now. If there is multiple groups that call to you, perhaps there's a message there from that group as well. All right, so take a moment, make your selections, and I will see you in your group. I'm going to include the timestamps in the description below. Welcome, group number 1. You picked the Dancer. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what message the Dancer has for you for this month of May 2022. The Dancer says to you, you must feel free to express yourself if you want to live a truly authentic life of quality and meaning. Our soul's dance is unending. Wow. A very beautiful message for the month of May for you. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the tarot. And we're just going to, ask some very simple questions. We're going to ask what you're leaving behind, the energies that you are attracting or bringing in right now, and just some advice and guidance. So we're going to touch on each of those. And for each, I think we're going to throw 2 cards just to get a deeper understanding. All right. So we are using the deck, the Tarot Apocalypses by Kim Huggins. It's one of my favorite tarot decks. So we're going to use it for this reading. Let's take a look. All right. So what are you leaving behind? What are you attracting now? What advice do we have for the month? All right. All right. All right. Boy. So interesting cards. I feel like what you are leaving behind with this Queen of Pentacles is your troubles with money and finances. The Queen of Pentacles doesn't just have to be talking about money, but there is a clear understanding of resources here, right? Resources, plenty. There's also this sense of what's most important to you physically, whether it be your health or, whatever you feel is your prosperity, right? That has been at risk for some time. And I feel that with this card showing up in a position where you're leaving this behind, in some ways, tells me that you're going to start seeing some kind of prosperity in this area. Now, we get a little more information of what that actually means with what you are attracting now and what's here. We do have the 9 of Pentacles reversed, right? And so this is the card of entrepreneurship. Now, what you have here is someone who in many ways has worked very hard, right, very diligently to attract what she currently has. As you can see, she is surrounded by riches. She is surrounded by, a prosperous business. And I feel like the card being reversed and you leaving behind the Queen of Pentacles tells me that some of you are potentially going to be switching jobs. Some of you are going to be leaving behind a 9-to-5 and starting some kind of business, some kind of entrepreneurship venture, some kind of new experience that has to do with money. Could just be growing something on the side, or if you've made some kind of investment in something, you're going to start yielding some results from that investment, right? This is the month where you start getting that. So you're leaving behind a time of fruitless ventures, and you're moving into a fruitful adventure. And so also there are some challenges to talk about here, right? So the Nine of Pentacles reverse can also be talking about the financial challenges that come with starting a new business or a new venture. You know, there is going to have to be an investment that you're going to have to make up front. The advice and guidance is what gives us a little more information on maybe potentially what should be the attitude, right, towards this new venture that you have coming here. And then with this Princess of Cups, what we have is a muse, right? The Princess of Cups is in love with the butterfly in front of her. She is in many ways, you know, the muse that it brings that artistic talent, it brings that artistic inspiration, creativity, beauty in all its ways. And so this is a very, very auspicious card for creators, for artists, for people that like to actually create things, right? The reason why you picked the Dancer, I think, why you were attracted to the Dancer, is because you are very artistic, right? And so we go right back to the message of the Dancer. You must feel free to express yourself if you want to live a truly authentic life of quality and meaning. Our soul's dance is unending. And so the Princess of Cups really just exemplifies that dance card so beautifully, right? Because the Princess of Cups is just in the moment. She's not in the past, you know, suffering from depression. She's not in the future suffering from any kind of anxiety. She is most alive when she is in the moment, doing her rhythmic dance of pleasure and glory, you know. And I feel like in that dance, that's where you're going to find your true prosperity. That's where you're going to find your true magic, your true creative venture. And so it also talks about adding creativity, right, to what you're doing. It talks about essentially focusing on building whatever brand or whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you're creating. Focus on the details, right? Focus on the pleasure that you are going to experience when you are building this business, right? It feels like a lot of you are building something from the ground up. It feels like a lot of you are going to potentially be questioning, is this for me? Am I doing the right thing? You know, maybe there's going to be a lot of worry. And I think that the worry comes from the financial side of things, right? We do have the Queen of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So there is definitely going to be some kind of friction in the financial side of things, right? It almost feels like, even though this is the right thing to do, even though you're leaving behind fruitless ventures, you are still going to experience some kind of investment, right? Investment that you have to make. And that's always difficult because it can be an investment of time, energy, right? And you're not going to yield any result early on, right? So you have to have kind of that stoic approach that essentially says that you need to sacrifice the future, or sacrifice the present for the future. And it almost feels like for those of you that are starting this business venture, starting this new endeavor, you are going to have that attitude. And so fall in love with the business. That's essentially what I'm trying to spit out in all of these words. Fall in love with the business. If you don't, then you're just going to focus on the money. It's all going to become about the money. And all, you know, obviously when you have a new business, you can't expect to be successful right off the bat. There is going to be a lot of defeats that you're going to experience early on, a lot of lackluster experiences, but it is well worth it. And the cards are pretty much telling you that it is well worth it, right? The cards are telling you to follow that rhythmic dance. It's telling, you know, for those of you out there that are dancers, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of dancers pick this group, or at least you're attracted to dancing. You are most alive when you are dancing. You are most in the moment when you are dancing. I mean, it's, you know, it's something that you can't explain. It's a fire that you have inside of you that's there. And when you are constantly feeding that fire, there's a love that grows for that thing, right? And so you have to bring that same energy into your business, right? You have to bring that same energy into your business. When you are working on your business, You have to really get into the groove of it, right? Whatever energy you feel when you're dancing, you know, when you feel most alive, when you feel like all eyes are on you, when you feel like you are performing and you are rising to levels that other people have not seen, to the point where at the end they applaud you, right, because of your beautiful talent. Well, it's the same thing with a business, right? It just takes a lot more time. There's a lot more detail, but at the same time, it's well worth it. Bring that energy into your business and you are going to have a lot of success, right? So let's go ahead and move on to the oracles now. I want to try and get some direct advice for you guys for this month. We're going to start with the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle cards. So we're going to get some advice from these oracles. And then towards the end, we're going to get some advice in love. We're going to throw some lover oracle cards to get some advice there as well. All right. So let's take a look. We have got soul alignment. All right. Interesting. Card number 26, soul alignment. And this card reads, soul alignment, it's time for a radical change. How can you show up for yourself in ways that you never have before? Right, that's a very important question to ask for the month of May. How can you show up for yourself in ways that you have never before? Right? Alignment, right? Aligning with your purpose, aligning with what you want to do. This is very interesting, right? A radical change. Very, very interesting. Maybe potentially for some of you, what this radical change is talking about is your change in perception. It's your change in focusing so much about the results, and instead of just focusing on the ride, on the adventure, right? Maybe some of you are just too focused, you're too results driven because you want to be successful. You want to show that you can do it. You want to essentially be applauded for your efforts. And maybe potentially when it comes to doing this, starting this new venture, you don't need to be applauded, right? This is for you. This is for your glory. This is for your wealth. So very interesting card to consider. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next oracle card. This is from the Self-Love Oracle deck. So let's go ahead and shuffle. And we're going to go ahead and throw just one card. Look deeper. All right, a mermaid. Interesting. So you've got the Look Deeper card. And the Look Deeper card says there is more beneath the surface. Remain cool and centered. Take time to look at the deep underlying current and follow your intuition. Very powerful message, right? My goodness, this group. You guys, there is more beneath the surface. So, you know, I feel like immediately when I read that, there's more beneath the surface. You know, we go back to the tarot cards, Queen of Pentacles reversed, Nine of Pentacles reversed, right? You're moving away from this energy of potentially being tied down to something that wasn't really going to set you up or help you in the future. It was just maybe momentarily, right? It wasn't really providing much satisfaction other than the bare minimum or bare necessities. You're moving from that energy, but you're moving to the Nine of Pentacles energy reversed, right? And so it's strange that you're leaving that behind, but you're still kind of dragging this energy of the Pentacles with you. And so what I feel is that you are in some ways holding on to the past. You're not allowing for the future. You're not allowing for the present to take precedence, right? And so what I mean by that is that even though you're starting this new venture with the Nine of Pentacles, it's a very scary one. You are worried that you are going to flop. Things are not going to work out as you envisioned, or you're worried that you are wrong. And here's the thing. With everything that you start new, it's always going to be like that. Every single thing. There is really there's no way around it. The best way of learning, the best way that you learn isn't in school. You know, no one can teach you, no one can teach you anything from a book, and then you go out into life and you do it exactly as is, and you can avoid all the pitfalls because you have that book knowledge. It's not like that. Even if you have book knowledge, you're still going to hit your head against that wall. You're still going to bleed out, and it's still going to be messy, okay? A lot of people don't like to hear that, but, you know, when it comes to a business, when it comes to starting a business, when it comes to a new venture, it is almost always bloody. It's almost always, there's always that friction. But the ones that truly make it, the ones that are able to see this through and reach heights of glory, are those that find the art and the beauty within what they're doing. And so that's what the Princess of Cups does, right? You can see the princess, you know, she's just looking at her butterfly. She is in love with that butterfly. That is all that is important to her, right? She doesn't care about the problems. She doesn't care about the bills. She doesn't care about sustenance. She doesn't care about anything. All that matters is the beautiful rhythmic dance that that little butterfly is doing in front of her. And so in order for you to be able to see whatever project this is through, you have to fall in love with the process. You have to fall in love with that butterfly, all right? So there is more beneath the surface, right? So look deeper into whatever problem you're going to try and bring with you that you are leaving behind, or you are destined to leave behind. Remain cool and centered, right? So we have that cool and centeredness in the Princess of Cups, right? Take time to look at the deep underlying currents. So ask yourself, right, why is this important? Why am I doing this? Why you're doing this? Because you're building something for yourself. You're not building something for someone else. You're building it for yourself. And there is power in you building something for yourself, because it's going to withstand the test of time. And the more you fall in love with that thing, the more you love something, the more you want to give to it, the more you want to attract it, the more you want to give your very life to that thing, right? That's what true unconditional love is. You give everything for that thing. And so you have to fall in love with this business of yours. All right, that's the only way. Follow your intuition is the final message. You are potentially going to be listening to a lot of people. They're going to tell you that you're doing this, that you're doing that. Oh, you should do this. Oh, no, you should do that. Oh, you should offer these options. Don't listen to people. I mean, listen to people, but ultimately listen more to your intuition, right? Listen to what they have to say. If it feels right intuitively, do it. Do not be a follower when it comes to your business. Do not be a follower. Do what feels right to you. You are a leader. You are capable. You are able. You are the person that people are going to look at when everything around is crumbling. Now that may sound a bit scary, but at the same time, it offers you the opportunity to reach heights of glory, because you are a clutch individual. That's what I see here. Clutch. You are a performer. And when things get tough, you perform at your very best, because that's what you are. You are a performer. So all that's left to do is for you to perform, right? So let's keep this going. We're going to throw a card from the Angel Quest Oracle, and then we're going to transition to the Lover's Oracle. And we're going to throw two, actually. For some reason, I feel like throwing two, just to get some deeper messages. Let's see what the Angel's Oracle has to say to us. Card number 1 and card number 2. Well, well, well. These are some nice, interesting cards you've got here. Very interesting. So we start with a message here of raising your vibration. This is the message from Archangel Metatron. And Metatron is elevating you to a higher state of consciousness. Raise your vibration. Wow. I like this card. This is a card of divine intervention, which is actually funny because your second card is also about divine intervention. So it's interesting. This is about divine intervention. This is about you receiving some kind of increase. It feels like whatever decisions that you've made, and I feel that this decision has already been kind of talked about, you know, maybe even debated, or, you know, it's something that you've been questioning for some time. Do I start this business? Do I, change things up? Do I invest in this venture? Whatever it may be that you are planning, you know, it's definitely been in the works. And I see it here. I see the dedication. I see the worrying as well. Okay, and so what you are being told here with this raising your vibration is that you right now are being divinely guided. The reason why you felt to do what you're doing now and what you will do in May is because of some kind of divine intervention, right? There was something almost godly, spiritual, right, that you felt called to do this. When you knew that you were going to do it, there was something that you felt, an energy pulsating through your body, and you understood, I have to do this, right? You felt alive, right? You felt that love, right, for that thing. And so divine intervention. Let's take a look. So okay, if I can get the card out, there we go. Divine intervention says to you that Spirit is carrying you through your difficult times. Trust in this higher power. Powerful message, right? Trust in the higher power. And so again, you know, we go right back to the business. We go right back to the mindset that's required. You have to have unyielding, and listen to me carefully, unyielding faith in what you are doing. You have to try and perfect it as much as you can, but ultimately unyielding faith, unyielding love, self-sacrificing, right? You sacrifice anything for that person that you love. And so I feel like, you know, you are being told here that if difficult times do come, they have not come to stay, they have come to pass. You just need to keep moving forward, okay? All right, so we're going to move towards the final oracle cards. This is from the Lover's Oracle. So here is your love message for the month. All right, let's go ahead and take a look and see what we get. So, you know, again, these Lover Oracle cards are for people that are single, in relationships. Really, you know, there's a variety of messages that we have in this Oracle deck. So whatever messages we get, you know, try and if it resonates, if it's for you. If it doesn't, then it's not. All right, so keep that in mind. But for singles, couples, let's take a look. All right, so your first Lover's Oracle card says to you, look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Wow, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. So this message is for, you know, if you are someone who is single at the present moment, or you're not with the person that loves you back for some reason, well, that person wants you to know that they truly love you very deeply. And, you know, it's almost like they're telling you, look in deep inside your heart and you'll know that I love you. I love you fully. And my love for you is as deep as the ocean. So, my goodness, a very beautiful message. I feel like this is almost a message from that person, right, coming through. If you are in a relationship right now and maybe there's some fights, there's a little bit of a struggle with this person, you know, understand that they do love you very deeply, that they do care about you, right, on a very deep level. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what the second Oracle, Lover's Oracle card is. All right, so we have here a message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. My, oh my. My, oh my. So you've got some very interesting cards. Not all the cards are like this. You actually got the two cards that I think are, you know, focused directly on messages of how that person currently feels for you right now. Most of the cards are very advice driven or, you know, guidance driven. These cards speak directly to the person and directly almost divinatory about how that person feels about you, right, and how they will feel about you. So if you're single, just know that we have here a message from the person that maybe a secret admirer, a crush, you know, someone who maybe you even know who this person is. You're thinking about them right now. Maybe you've interacted with them, but you know, this person really feels very deeply for you. And it's very interesting, right? I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Poetry, right? Poetry. My goodness. So that is your May 2022 predictions, guidance, advice. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. I'm offering readings. So just before I forget, I am offering private readings. If you are interested in a private reading, you will have to go through my Etsy store. I'm going to include the link in the description below. Thank you for your donations. I still can't believe that you guys are sending me donations. Thank you so much for those. Thank you. And thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for commenting. Keep in mind, if you do comment, I will respond to you. Okay, so comment, comment, comment. Thank you once again, and I hope you have a prosperous and wonderful May 2022. Bye-bye. Welcome, group number 2, to your May 2022 predictions, guidance, advice, tarot reading, and oracle reading. So you picked the Traveler. Beautiful card, beautiful oracle card, the Traveler. Let's see what message the Traveler has for you for this month. Let travel, education, and communication systems take you and your ideas to the world, and or use the same to bring the world to you. Wow. That is very interesting message from the Traveler. Let travel, education, and communication systems take you and your ideas to the world. Very interesting. All right, let's go ahead and throw some tarot, and then we're going to throw some more oracle cards. This is the Tarot Apocalypses from Kim Huggins and Eric C. Dunn. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle and see exactly what we have here. All right, so we're going to do more of like a what you're leaving behind, what you are attracting now, and advice and guidance, kind of a tarot reading here. So let's go ahead and take a look. So what are you leaving behind? Okay. What are you attracting now? Okay. What's the advice and guidance? Okay, wow. Well. Okay. So, what you are leaving behind is the Sun. That's a very interesting card. The Sun reversed. So, you know, the Sun is the ultimate card of joy. It's the card of happiness, contentment. You know, everything under the sun is brimming with life, right? And so there's a sense here of true happiness and joy. And, you know, the fact that you've got the card reversed tells me that maybe there hasn't been a lot of that joy and spark, right? It almost feels like for some of you, there's just been a lot of sadness going around. And so that sadness is coming to an end. Okay, that is what you are leaving behind. Now, let's move on to where you are at right now. What are you attracting? And you've got the Princess of Swords reversed, right? And so, you know, there's definitely a bit of a warning here, but we'll get into that. The Princess of Swords is someone who knows how to use her words to create, right? This is the creator. There's a sense of inspiration with her. There's a sense of ideas that turn into words, turn into, you know, actual something that you can digest, right? Think of a writer, think of a creator, a content creator. And so, you know, the fact that the Princess of Swords is reversed tells me that some of you might be going through writer's block. Or, you know, for my writers out there, or others that create, you're going through a bit of a block right now. Those are the energies that you were somewhat attracting. I feel like there's residual effect from the sadness that you've been under for a while. And now that sadness is leaving, but now you're having trouble removing the blockages, right? You're having trouble finding the inspiration to create or to do the things that you did before. And so that struggle has turned into something that you know, is making you, or essentially going to bring you this sense of not feeling complete, you know. And so the advice is the Emperor card. And I love this advice because it's all about structure with the Emperor, right? The Emperor comes into a world that is filled with chaos, looks around, and the Emperor says, "Let there be order." And because he says it, order is created. And so the fact that you've got this card showing up as the advice and guidance tells me that you have to bring order to your life. And that order can be as simple as finding a schedule. You know, maybe if you've been sad and going through a bit of a depression and you've been waking up late, sleeping 12 hours, you know, you can set up a schedule for yourself and actually adhere to that schedule. right? Don't break it. Keep your word to yourself, right? You tell yourself, I'm going to do this day, actually do it. You tell yourself, I'm going to clean this day, actually do it. Get yourself a calendar. Get yourself something that you can write down what you want to do for tomorrow, right? Do it the day before, what needs to be done for tomorrow, and make sure that you don't go to bed until you accomplish everything on that list, okay? And it doesn't matter if you get stuck in one item. You still tried it, right? You still actually did something. And so I feel like maybe some of you, for the month of May, there's a lack of structure. There's a lack of stability. There's a lack of actually following through on some kind of plan or some kind of schedule. And so I think that if you are able to do this and actually do it, you're going to be able to unlock or unblock these this creative talent that you have that unfortunately right now is blocked. And we go right back to the message of the traveler, you know, let travel, education, and communication systems take you and your ideas to the world. Use them, use the same to bring the world to you, right? And so, you know, I feel like a lot of the people that pick this, you people, you are in some ways integrated with someone, with a group, with maybe this is your career, maybe this is what you do for a living. Potentially there are some creative things that you're working on right now. You're in the beginning stages of these things. Or you are someone who is actually advanced. Maybe you have a following, you know, maybe you have some kind of structure that unfortunately has not been, I'm not going to say well taken care of, but, you know, maybe it's been neglected a little bit, right? Or maybe you've walked away mainly because of this sadness that you've been feeling with the sun, right? This depression and this unfortunate lack of creativity. And so, you know, I feel like maybe some of you, maybe potentially, for some, not all, you gained inspiration from the sadness. But now that the sadness is gone, you know, you find yourself a bit blocked off. So that can be a message for some of you. And for those of you that is your message, obviously take what resonates, leave the rest. You know, we go right back to the traveler. Let travel, education, and communication, right, take you to the world. And so I feel like some of you for the month of May, you're being asked to travel a little more. You're being asked to go out there, right? Go into nature. For those of you that can afford it, take a trip across waters, across bodies of water. Maybe go to a different state. You know, get away, see something new, right? For others, it can be education, simply taking a course, a class, maybe learning or reading a book that you haven't read before might open you up to something new. Potentially communication, just talking to people, right? Getting the information out and getting that feedback. That is very, very, very helpful, right, to your mental state. And so I feel that with the Princess of Swords reverse, what we have here is a mental block. Right, a mental block. Whereas in the Sun we had almost an emotional block, or a negative emotional reaction to life. What we have with the Princess of Swords is now more of a mental block. The ideas just aren't coming. So you're having trouble finding that, and the only way is to bring some structure into your life, bring some structure into your environment. And then there's other advices that come with that, right? Once you have that structure, once you're able to essentially find a system that works, try and take that system and integrate it into all areas of your life, whether it be, you know, communicating, you know, creating content, putting it out there, whatever it may be. That's the advice there. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. Keep in mind we're going to do or throw some Lovers Oracle cards towards the end of the reading. So stay tuned for that. But before that, we're going to go ahead and utilize some of the other Oracle cards to gain some advice. We're going to start with the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle. We're just going to go ahead and shuffle. And we are going to ask, what advice for the month of May will benefit you the most? Wow, I get this card a lot, interestingly enough, in my readings. Way too much. So we've got here, you are the image maker. What you focus on manifests. A question to consider. What thought patterns do you need to shift? Wow. This is a very powerful card, right? It goes hand in hand with the Princess of Swords. My goodness. So let's go ahead and just go through this card step by step. We start with, you are the image maker. So right there, it's an acknowledgement of your creative talents. Right there is an acknowledgement also of your divine purpose, and also just how powerful you are. How powerful in your creative talents you are, right? You are an image maker. Whatever you see in your mind, whatever you envision, you can create, and you will create, right? So what you will focus on, the second message is what you focus on manifests. And then the challenge is, what thought patterns do you need to shift, right? So, we're moving from an energy of sadness and sorrow. We're leaving that behind, right? And then now what we have is an energy of blockage, right? What's going on? Why can't we tap into the creative talents? Why can't we put word to paper and know what we want to do? Well, the advice is structure. We find the structure with the Emperor, right? And then now we're reminded that, hey, you are the one that is bringing about these negative thought patterns, right? You're the one that's kind of bringing this blockage, right? So how can we unblock this? Well, you have to shift your thought patterns, and sometimes that's difficult to do, right? Very difficult to do, to think positively, even though the world is burning around us, to think positively to the point that we can essentially bring ourselves out of this creative block. Very, very difficult to do, and then that's why I think the cards are taking you on a little bit of a journey, a little bit of a ride. First, it's an understanding that there's a blockage. Then there is the order that the Emperor is demanding of you. Bring that order and structure into the here and now. And then from that structure, from that order, go ahead and integrate it into your everyday life, travel, education, right? Communication. And then from that, you're going to be able to generate ideas. Make sure that the ideas that you generate from that are positive, not negative, right? And you're going to be able to, in some ways, start putting pen to paper and start creating again. The ideas are going to start coming again. Also, I think that for some of you, and obviously take what resonates, leave the rest, but for some of you, you're having trouble communicating, right? You're having trouble getting out, you're having trouble talking to people. And so it's important for you to work on that for the month, I feel, is what you're being told. Because it's going to essentially lead you towards something else, right? It's going to essentially help you with some kind of maybe career, ambition, and it's only going to help your mental state, communicating more, talking more to people. This is all very important. It will help in your image making. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and keep the Oracle cards coming. We're going to throw a card from the Self-Love Oracle. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have here. All right, so you've got Remove Toxicity. All right, that reminds me of a song, Remove Toxicity. All right, so very clear message here. We are only treated as badly as we allow ourselves to be. Pay attention to your physical and emotional health and reduce your toxic burdens. Oof. Boy, that's difficult to do, right? Very difficult to do. But now the message is in some ways shifted just a bit, because now we have some kind of toxicity that is around our structure. So we have the structure, right? The Emperor, this is the world that we create around us. And now we know that there's some toxicity around. And the only clue is the Princess of Swords reversed and the Sun reversed. And so what we have to kind of see here is that there might be a person around you that is bringing you down. So there might be a Princess of Swords that's bringing you down or wants to bring you down for the month of May. Now, obviously, this isn't to be concerned or worried. Obviously, they're not going to succeed. But what I am telling you is be aware of these people. Sometimes we run into the arms of someone else and we want their advice and we want to be around them, and we really take their advice very carefully and we consider what they have to say. And sometimes we do it simply because of something as easy as an image, right? They posted up some image on social media, or you just like their social media profile, or you're so drawn to some small insignificant detail about that person, and so you give that person so much power, right, over you. So be careful that you don't do that, right? This is, I think, a young person, maybe for some of you, a young divine female. energy here with this princess. So be very careful who you're giving all of your attention and energy to. You know, it feels like this person is toxic. Try and open yourself up to the understanding that not everyone is there for you to help you. Really, you know, some people, they pretend to help, but they really, you know, when it comes down to it, they bring you down pretty horrifyingly. So focus on the signs. You know, does this person want what's best for you? Do they celebrate you? Or does it feel like when you're around them, they're just kind of tolerating you? Is that how it feels like? Do you feel like you have to be on your best behavior, or this person is going to judge you or say something? Or do you feel that you can't be yourself around a certain person? So all of those are signs of a toxic relationship, a toxic person. If you are worried about their harsh criticism, then potentially you might be involved in some kind of toxic relationship, and that toxicity might have led to that sadness, right? Sometimes we try and seek help from other people, and they end up dragging us down into the depths even more. So pay very close attention, right? Pay attention to your physical and emotional health and reduce your toxic burdens. And so travel, right? Communicating with other people, new things, new ideas, new experiences. Make sure that you don't associate with people that are putting negative thoughts in your head, right? We go back to the image maker. You are the image maker. What you focus on manifests. And so if we have a Princess of Swords reverse constantly telling us negative things, reminding us of our errors, reminding us of our past mistakes, even insinuating certain things, or making us feel like there's something wrong with us, right? Like saying, oh, that is an ugly sweater, or oh, you dress like an old person, right? These are the signs that you need to pay attention to. This is a toxic person who may act like they want what's best for you, but really, you know, they really want to see you below them. And so these people, you know, if they're not number one, then they will sink the ship, right? They will not stay on that ship. They need to be number one. And so, you know, in a friendship, this person might try to take your shine in order for them to shine. So anyways, that's for some of you. Obviously, take where resonant, leave the rest. But that is for some of you, not all of you. For most, this is an aspect of you, this Princess of Swords, right? I feel like there's a blockage there, and that needs to be removed through that structure. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue with the oracles. We're going to throw 2 more oracle cards, and then we'll move on to the love messages. This is from the Angel Quest Oracle. Let's go ahead and take a look and see. Let's take a look and see. So we're going to throw 2 of these. We are going to throw 2 of these. Wow. Wow. Okay. These are interesting cards. All right, so let's start with this one. We've got here card number 5, Divine Perception. The angels are directing you to perceive the situation from a higher state of consciousness, right? And we have there the eye of God just staring back at you, right? So divine perception, you are being directed. And so I feel like, you know, we are definitely trying. I feel like a lot of you for the month are going to be trying to find something. You're in the pursuit of something. Something inside of you is just, you know, feeling a bit uncomfortable. And you're going to want to try and express yourself and reach out and do something different. And I think that you need to follow that, right? You need to follow that desire. Don't in no ways repress yourself for the month. Give in to this, right? There is a higher state of consciousness that's trying to be awakened in you. And so you're being asked to be courageous as well. Okay, we have here card number 40. Courage. Archangel Michael is granting you the strength to persevere, right? Beautiful card. So you've got here angel messages, and these angel messages are telling you, hey, encouraging you even, that you can keep on with this fight. You can be victorious. You can have what you want. You just have to keep going. You have to keep moving forward. You have to keep striving to be the best version of yourself in many ways. You know, obviously perfection doesn't exist, but you can try, right? You can try to reach it. And in many ways, I feel that there is true strength inside of you. That's what the cards are confirming. There's strength, there's ability. You just have to tap into that. And again, just, you know, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but we have here the Emperor. So just structure. That's how you're going to be able to unlock this, through a little bit of structure in your schedule, in your everyday. Also, make sure that you are, again, within that structure, building on top of it, right? It's not like you have to destroy everything, right? But you have to bring order into what you already have. Remove the toxicity, remove the things that aren't serving you, the people that unfortunately aren't being all that supportive, and then try and add to that, right? Through communication systems. So, you know, social media, maybe reach out to a friend that you hadn't reached out before, reached out to someone who you really care about that maybe you've forgotten about, that treated you very kindly, but you just stopped talking to them for whatever reason. Maybe reach out to these people, get a sense of what they're doing, what they're up to. Maybe be a little honest with them once you start getting into the groove of things. But, examine very closely your circle for the month. Now, let's go ahead and throw the love messages. We're going to go ahead and see what messages of love you're going to have for the month of May, right? And for that, we're going to use a Lover's Oracle. These cards are interesting because what they do is that they sometimes give advice, or sometimes give you a message from the person that you are going to be with, maybe a secret admirer. So this is, I don't know what's going to show up. We're just going to roll with the punches. So let's go ahead and reveal the very first card. This is your love message for the month of May. We've got here, don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. Wow. That's a powerful message, right? I don't really need to say anything else. My goodness. Don't make decisions based on guilt. All right, let's go ahead and throw another one, and let's see what we get here. All right, so we've got here another one. Power. You instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or to walk away at any time. Whoa. My goodness. So direct messages, direct messages, very interesting, right? Power. You instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or to walk away at any time. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to the others. To others. Wow. That is very interesting. This message is definitely for a lot of people. And that brings us to the very end of the reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Just a reminder, I am offering private readings at this time. If you're interested in a private reading, you will have to go through my Etsy store. I will leave the link in the description below. Thank you for those that have sent me donations. Still amazed that you guys are actually sending me donations. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for doing that. It really helps. And thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. And don't forget to comment. I respond back to every single comment. So comment. I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. Let me know what you thought about the reading. Thank you once again. And bye-bye. Welcome, group number 3, to today's Pick a Card Tarot reading for the month of May. Predictions, guidance, advice. We're going to start with tarot, but towards the end of the reading, we're going to throw a Lover's Oracle, 2 Lover's Oracle cards, just to get a direct love message. But first, we're going to start by revealing what the message of the Shaman is. Very beautiful, beautiful card. Very powerful card. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what the Shaman's message is for you for the month of May. Work on healing and empowering yourself if you want to be useful to others on their own journey from suffering to healing. Wow, the Shaman, number 1, which is the number of the Magician. Very interesting, right? Work on healing and empowering yourself if you want to be useful to others on their own journey from suffering to healing. Very direct advice. So we're going to go ahead and throw some tarot. This is the tarot deck from Kim Huggins and Eric C. Dunn. The Tarot Apocalypses is the name of the deck, one of my favorites. So we're going to go ahead and throw 3 cards. First is what you are leaving behind. Okay. What you are attracting now. And the advice. Wow. So you've got some interesting cards here. A lot of fire. A lot of fire. And, you know, it feels like, you know, a lot of you have been putting a lot of effort, or at the very least, there's been a lot of, you know, you've been expelling a lot of effort. You've been definitely working hard on something. And I feel like you've taken on some responsibilities that might be a bit overwhelming, but at the same time, you know, they've left a mark in you, right? So anyways, let's go ahead and go one by one. So what you are leaving behind is the Eight of Wands. This is the card of forward moving momentum, right? We have here an ancient Egyptian warrior who is taking the battle to his enemy, right? This is the person that's moving forward in all areas. They're not going to stop. We have a symbol of leadership with a lion. We have a symbol of sight with the peregrine falcon. And so there's a sense of power, dynamism, and insight, right? And so it feels like what you are leaving behind is the need to constantly be fighting. What you are leaving behind is the need to essentially, you know, work harder, be more detailed, you know, be the best version of you. It feels like a lot of you have put in so much effort, so much work into something, and maybe potentially it hasn't worked out to its fullest. It just hasn't completely, you know, it hasn't manifested itself, right? And so it feels like you guys are maybe in some kind of holding pattern. And when I mean by holding pattern, I mean that you're striving and you're trying to accomplish things, but you know, it feels like it's not enough. It never feels like it's enough. It feels like you have to put in more effort. And I think that sometimes when things don't go your way, you're also very hard on yourself. And the response to you not getting what you potentially set out to get or achieve is more work, right? With the Eight of Wands. So you're leaving that energy behind. And we're moving to the energies of right now, which is the Hangman. And this is an interesting card, you know, because I feel that for a lot of you, the time has come to have the victory. The time has come for you to achieve something, right? And so even though you've been in that holding pattern for such a long time, like the Hangman, it's time to unhang yourself and it's time to come down and obtain what it is that you've set out to accomplish, right? So we have here the Hangman, who in many ways is a warrior who has decided to stop fighting and just go through the process of sacrifice. You know, this person is sacrificing a great deal. There's pain, you know, being hung here. This is an illustration of a Native American tradition. You know, this warrior is hung for a few days, and they have to go through this process of agonizing pain and, you know, stamina to essentially be able to be transformed spiritually, you know, physically, mentally, right? And almost to be honored and exalted amongst his people. And so it feels like, you know, with the message of the shaman, work on healing and empowering yourself if you want to be useful to others on their own journey from suffering and healing. It almost feels like you're being asked to stop attacking. No more attacking. No more attacking. No more going out of your way and trying to make things happen. I think that this is the month where things start coming to you, right? Where all of the work from the past starts yielding some result. And so in some ways you're being asked to slow down and really take it all in. You're being asked to slow down and start observing everything around you and start essentially connecting more. And I feel like, you know, for a lot of you, like the shaman is saying, right, there's some healing that needs to take place. So if you feel inspired to read a book of maybe about psychology, or you feel inspired to read a book about development, whatever you feel inspired to read, really, you know, focus in on that. Take the time to do that, right? When you feel the instinct of doing more than you need to because you feel that your work isn't sufficient enough, stop yourself right there and tell yourself it is sufficient, and I need to now move forward, and I need to now get away from this energy, right? And so it feels like what the cards are telling you is that all of the work that you've put in the past, many of the seeds that you've planted, they are now going to break through the ground, right? You're going to be able to see the fruit of your labor. And that is a welcoming sight, right? It's been very chaotic, especially this year. My goodness, has it been chaotic. There's definitely been a lot of fire, and that fire is spreading all around, you know, from all of the world and the geopolitical events and everything that's happening. And it has been a very stressful time. And so this is a very welcoming message of allowing yourself the time to enjoy yourself and heal. Now, the King of Wands reversed is the advice. The King of Wands reversed is talking about a weak will, right? So maybe some of you are being very hard on yourselves. This is definitely an aspect of you showing up here. You know, this is someone who's very, very difficult on themselves. This is someone who, you know, just potentially is trying to bring harm to a situation. Also, it's the card of burning out through too much activity, right? So we see here a king who rises up to meet any challenge, right? A leader, a figure of authority, a role model. You know, this is a charismatic leader. And, you know, it feels like with that King of Wands, you have now reached a point where that activity is burning you out. There's just too much going on. So it's important to, in some ways, quiet down a bit, right? Quiet down. There's a sense of reaching a place where you understand the position that you're in. You understand that you can't use your will to change what can't be changed. And doing or trying to do that will cause a burnout. You're burning out through too much activity because there's a failure to get your own way, right? And that might lead you into the hands of someone else, right? Being at the mercy of another person might very well be a reality there, or maybe being a victim of social manipulation as well. Don't allow for these things to occur. You know, don't feel like you need to do anything out of the norm or out of the ordinary. This is the month where you are less active, all right? Stop being so active with that Eight of Wands. Start really taking in the energies around you. Go through that kind of sacrificial element that the hangman is asking of you, right? And if you're able to do that, you're going to be able to tap in fully into the leadership ability of the King of Wands. You know, also the King of Wands might be talking about, you know, people around you. Make sure that the people that you keep in your company are people that really want what's best for you, not people that are just, you know, going to be passive aggressive in any way or damaging or hurtful. Be very careful with these energies, right, that would seek to try and bring you down. You know, the hangman reversed can also be talking about maybe being unwilling to give something up or to make a sacrifice, right? Or being unable to see one's way through suffering, or being forced into an ordeal unwillingly. This is essentially the world being turned upside down. And so, you know, it's important to address that, right? Understand that you don't have to keep pushing forward. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Stop, reassess, go through the healing process, and you'll be able to make it through on the other end and see clearly, right, exactly what's in front of you. So very interesting trio of cards. What we are going to do now is throw some oracles and try and gain some advice from the oracles. So we'll start with the unshakable inner peace. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what the advice is from the unshakable inner peace to you. All right, so we've got here card number 37, telling you to rise above it. It's not yours to carry. You are an empath. Wow. Very interesting message, right? You are an empath. And the message is, how can you detach from the drama? Right? How can you, and that's an excellent card to get, you know, because it adds to this fire. So there might be some drama for the month, right? And maybe some of you are going to want to actually participate in the drama, but you need to rise above it. It's not yours to carry. You are an empath. And so, you know, empaths, we tend to be drained pretty quickly from all of the energies around us, right? We tend to allow for that to in some ways burn us out. So it's important to understand that, you know, not everything around you is for you, and you don't have to participate in everything for some of you out there. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. We have the Self-Love Oracle, so we're going to gain some understanding of what May is going to bring with the Self-Love Oracle. All right, let's see what else. Get up. Wow, look at this. Get up is the message. No matter how far we have fallen, we must try again. All is not lost until we give up. Wow. A message of moving forward, a message of getting up and vanquishing the darkness, right? This is the hero that's constantly moving forward and trying to overcome. No matter how far we have fallen, we must try again. All is not lost until we give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your ambitions. This isn't, you know, I feel that this isn't a message of you having to move on from where you are. You know, I think that this is a message for those of you that have really been trying to accomplish something, right? And unfortunately, it just hasn't happened, right? And so what the cards are telling you is that all that effort that you've exerted is not going to be necessary moving forward. And so, you know, it's almost like you are in some ways, for the month of May, you're going to be making that transition from always being on the attack and always being on that creative process to more of a balanced approach. How can you balance things out, right? Is this working? Is this not working? And how can I work to the point where I'm not exhausted physically, mentally, and spiritually? Right, and I think that there is some healing that a lot of you need to do. Right, there's some shadow work that we need to work on, that we need to essentially put time and effort into. So no matter how far you've fallen, you must try again. All right, let's go ahead and get some information, some further advice from the Angel Quest Oracle. Let's take a look and see what message we get here. We're gonna throw 2 cards here. We're going to throw 2 cards here. Let's take a look at this. All right, so we start with surrendering to spirit. Hand your situation over to the divine and let go of your attachment to the outcome, right? So, you know, whatever the situation is that you're facing, you know, whatever this energy that you're putting in so much time and attention and dedication to, you know, spirit wants to help you out. There's a purpose. There's a surrender that needs to take place. And so that word is just so important because, you know, with the Hangman, we have a tarot card now that supports that key word, right? There's a tarot card there. There's a tarot card that supports that surrendering. Surrender to the process. Go through that element of self-sacrificing. And, you know, if you're able to surrender, you're going to be able to, in some ways, achieve the outcome that is best for you. And so we move to the message of innocence. Okay, this message of innocence says to you, the angels are advising you to embrace the wholesome qualities of your childhood. Wow, that's beautiful. So you're being asked to potentially start from, you know, because this message of healing, right? Sometimes it's difficult. Well, okay, so I need to heal. What exactly do I even do, right? And so now we have here a bit of some guidance from Spirit telling you that you have to start finding that child inside of you, right? Find what inspires you, that creativeness, right? I feel like maybe some of you have been working so hard that you've forgotten how to have fun. So you're being asked for the month to have as much fun as you possibly can, to have as much joy and contentment as you can. You know, children are filled with joy. They're filled with, this exploratory nature. And so maybe some of you're being asked to do this, right? Healing can look very different to a lot of people. There's healing energies in nature. Maybe go out in nature a little more, explore, right? Get out there. And these things are going to help you in many, many ways, right? The angels are advising you to embrace the wholesome qualities of your childhood. Make sure you are handing your situation over to the divine and let go of your attachment to the outcome. Wow. Beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and throw some more cards. We're going to throw 2 more cards. This is going to be from the Lover's Oracle. And again, these are love messages, right? So it's perfect for singles. It's perfect for couples. The Lover's Oracle deck has a lot of different messages. So let's see what comes out. Let's go ahead and see what comes out. I'm interested. Let's see. Only time will tell. Wow. So, that is interesting, right? Only time will tell. It almost feels like you've been asking some questions about love, and maybe you've asked for some timelines, or maybe there's a desire, for those of you that are single, and for those of you that are also in a relationship, right? Maybe the relationship, you want that relationship to go to the next level. So the message is only time will tell. Now let's go ahead and throw one more and see what else we get. What other messages? We have here, criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. Beautiful message. Beautiful message. So definitely a strong message for those that are already in a relationship, or for those that potentially have a secret admirer. Maybe there's, you're working things out with someone. Very strong message for those people here, right? Only time will tell. Criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. So, my goodness, very powerful message for the month of May, right? We start with the shaman telling you to work on healing and to empower yourself if you want to be useful to others on their journey. Then from that, we move to an energy of leaving behind all that workload, all that extra effort that you're having to put in for success, moving towards an energy of surrender, giving up to a divine source, going through a process of transformation in order to be completely transformed, right? And what are we transforming into? Possibly the King of Wands, right? But the King of Wands did come out reversed, so it talks about, reaching a point where you are burned out, right? Burned out. Make sure that you are not, tapping into that energy of burnout. And you are being told to rise above it, rise above any situations, right? Not everything is yours to carry. You are an empath, so you pick up on things, right? So be very careful with your energy and who you give it to. A question to consider is, how can you detach yourself from the drama and always get up, right? No matter how far you have fallen, you must try again. All is not lost until you give up. And then Spirit wants you to surrender to Him, right? To Spirit. Hand your situation over to the divine and let go of your attachment to the outcome, because the angels are advising you to embrace the wholesome qualities of your childhood. Not because, but, that's what they're advising you. If you want to go through that healing process and you want to get it right, start by doing what excites you. What excited you as a child, what you did, what you enjoyed. And you're going to be able to yield some result from that. So that is what I see here. Group number 3. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Quick reminder, I am offering private readings at this time. If you are interested in a private reading, you will have to go through my Etsy store. I'm going to include the link in the description below. Thank you guys once again for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your donations. My goodness, you guys are actually sending me donations, and I really appreciate that. That is very kind of you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the like. And thank you for commenting. And, you know, if you comment, I will respond back. I respond back to everyone that comments. So please do that. Sending you a lot of love. Thank you once again. And bye-bye.